welcome to Rants of a Naija Chic. Today I'm going to be doing the review of episode 2 of The Real Housewives of Durban, and when I tell you that this episode was explosive, best believe it, it was explosive. If you did not see my review for episode 1, I'm going to be linking that video in the description, so definitely do watch that before you watch this, or watch this before you watch that, it's fine. But let's get right into the tea. So episode 1 ended at Jojo's princess party where Nonku, Shorisha and Annie were going at it. So episode 2 opens up with that party still, but them kind of like wrapping things up, and then Jojo pulls Annie aside to kind of speak with her. And then Annie tells Jojo she had Bell's palsy, I believe, with her first pregnancy. That's kind of why her face droops. Funny enough, I didn't even really notice it like that, but they put some clips. Apparently social media was going on about it. Why is her eyelash acting up and all that? I, funny enough, didn't really notice it. But anyways, so she talks about bullying and how she was bullied and stuff like that. I think she wants to go with Jojo to see her surgeon. Jojo is open about the fact that she has a lot of surgeries and stuff like that, so she wants to go with her surgeon and see how she can fix the side of her face. Then it moves on to Miss Maria. If you remember from last week, Maria is one of the new girls on the cast, and I've already predicted that she's going to be a fiery one, and she is proving me right. So they show her house. Her house is very beautiful, by the way. It's kind of like overlooking the water and stuff like that. So I mean, her house is very beautiful. I'll give that to her. So she's now talking with this her friend about the party, and then she's going on and on about how Shorisha ignored her and stuff like that. Honestly, this girl is talking about the fact that maybe Shorisha wants to be the mommy of the group. Maybe Shorisha feels like she's the queen of the group, but that as much as Shorisha is queen, that she's also queen. I'm like, Auntie, when did you even come? Can you calm down a bit? You're talking about the fact that Shorisha is threatening about you, but all through the episode, Shorisha hasn't said jack shit about you. You are the one who has said a lot about her. Like, how is she threatened when she doesn't even know you? Now, was Shorisha speaking over her or around her and not with her at Jojo's party? I do not know if that is true, or maybe that is her perception of the matter. I do not know that. But from everything she was saying to her friend and from her confessionals, Maria, Shorisha is not pressed about you. You are the one who is pressed about Shorisha. Let's just be real. Then her friend mentions the fact that maybe she's threatened because another Indian lady has come into the fold. I didn't even know that Maria was Indian. Honestly, I really thought maybe she's South African, but I don't think Shorisha is pressed. I think she's the one going on about, because in fact she said in her confessional that she's not used to not being noticed, and Shorisha did not notice her, that Shorisha should notice. I'm like, girl, it doesn't matter if your boobs are big to here. If Shorisha did not notice you, she did not notice you. Pack well. Anyways, then cuts to Nonku introducing us to her new man. I think the man is going to be a feature in this season, because they kind of gave him a confessional and he introduced himself, and you know how these reality shows happen. He was speaking as the scene was playing out. But I hope she's happy with her new man, and yeah, that's that for that. But the real drama this episode kind of happened when Maria met some of the ladies aside and at Shorisha's spa opening event. But let me talk about the ladies meeting first. So Maria invites Jojo, Nonku and Mbali, one of the new girls, to kind of meet with her, let them talk over about what happened at the party and all that. And guess who they're talking about there? Shorisha. Maria is going on about how she feels that Shorisha didn't handle that well. She should not have called out Nonku in that setting and stuff like that. Mbali also is siding Nonku and saying you really should put Shorisha in her place when next you see her. Also, you need to talk to Slee, your friend. Also, I thought she was your friend. Slee is the other new girl. She was your friend. You know, why was she not standing up for you and all that? Basically, that meetup they had was just to gossip about who they didn't like, because Jojo was saying I don't like Slee, and Maria was going on I do not like Shorisha, blah 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 blah. It was just about that. I really get the vibes from Maria that she really wants to come in hot and place her mark and quickly be one of the top cast members that we look out for. Like in every Real Housewives franchise, I see it almost every other season that they introduce a new cast member. The person will come in and try to be involved in as much controversies as possible so that they'll get more airtime than everybody else, so that you see them and you know them. So that is just the vibe that Maria is giving me. Like, I'm sure even herself will agree with me that that's just what she's doing. She likes the attention, she likes the cameras, she wants to be seen. That's just it. Now fast forward to Shorisha's spa opening. In the mall her husband opened, apparently while they were not filming. She has a space there where it's a spa and she's opening it. Now she's invited everyone except Maria. Now I don't know the story there. I only know that Maria had mentioned to her friend that she doesn't have an invite. So maybe if Shorisha ever talks about Maria, we will know what the tea is on that side. I just know that Maria was not invited. At the event, all the girls have gone and all the girls have seated. Annie and Nonku. Annie has just decided I'm going to be cordial with Nonku because Annie had met up with Slee and Shorisha before this day. So she now knows what Nonku's beef is with her, and it has to do with this same mall opening where apparently Annie said Nonku should get up, that her husband should sit. And Nonku now went on about how she feels that Annie is afraid of her husband. And I was like, Annie, the Annie that I see afraid of the husband is just respect. I don't think she is. But then again, I may not know. It's not really my business. Anyways, like I was saying, all the girls are seated. And then comes this girl from nowhere and she sits with them and introduces herself to them. I mean, I thought that she was part of the cast for a while because the way she sat very confidently and everything, introduced herself to everybody, what she does, she's a chef and stuff like that. They even gave her a small confessional. I did not know that this girl came to stir up a lot of drama. So I don't know if Slee, I didn't hear when Slee called her a caterer. So when Slee stands up with Annie to go and get drinks, this girl now shifts closer to Jojo, Nonku and Bali, talking about why did Slee look down on her and call her a caterer, that she's not a caterer, she's a chef. She was just making a whole lot of fuss about it. And Jojo is saying, Slee's a classist. I mean, Jojo doesn't like Slee, so it's not strange that she would side with this girl. They make such a big deal about that, and Jojo earlier had said something about the fact that Nonku told her that Slee had approached her husband and mentioned to her husband that she's single, that her husband should find a man for her, and that her husband should help her follow her to a tattoo artist place and get tattoos done. We don't know when this one happened. It's just something Jojo brought up that Nonku told her about Slee, her friend. So I'm just like doubting even the Nonku herself. Nonku, you are supposed to be friends with Slee. So why are you telling everything Slee is saying to Jojo, who is also your friend, but you also want them to be friends with Slee? So what exactly are you trying to do there? Anyways, Jojo decides that when Slee comes back to the seat, that she's going to talk to Slee about, did you approach my husband or not? So Slee and Annie comes back very innocently. They don't know that the table has finished chewing them up. First thing, the other girl is like, you called me a caterer, I'm not a caterer, blah, blah. I'm like, inside Shorisha's party, people are doing all this. Anyway, that one moves aside. Now Jojo goes, did you meet my man and say, I heard a lot of things. And the girl is like, when did that happen? Now, I don't know whose side to believe. I mean, we didn't see when any of this happens, but Jojo was just coming too hard at Slee. And Slee is now asking Nonku, you told her this. When did I say this? And Nonku is like, no, but you said that you want him to find you a rich man. And the girl is looking like it doesn't add up. Jojo is getting up and shouting and shouting. The girl was like, call your husband and ask. And Jojo keeps going on about, my husband is not going to be involved. Why would you approach him and and really mention the fact that you're single and At a point, the camera pans and we see that Shorisha's husband and Jojo's husband is coming towards the girl. I'm like, every time you people go somewhere, you always must shout. Why are people shouting inside somebody's event? Anyways, Slee got very upset and decided to leave because she was like, if she stays, it's going to go into a full-blown fight. So she leaves. Nobody checks up on her. We all know how the Real Housewives likes to, when someone leaves in anger, everybody will run after her, or at least some people will run after her. Nobody ran after Slee. So Shorisha, who is at her event trying to mingle at her own event, is now having to be the one to step aside and call Slee like, what's up, what's going on? I heard. And Slee was like, I'm sorry, I had to leave. I didn't want to put hands on someone at your event and ruin your event and blah 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 blah. Just before Slee left though, while Jojo was still parring, in walks Lundy. We all know I love Lundy. I love Lundy, my girl. Lundy was on the cast in season 2, but they didn't, she wasn't on the cast anymore and in this new season 3. So Lundy walks in and Jojo immediately runs to Lundy, greets her, and in her confessional she was like, she just wanted a situation to get out of that shouting. So she used Lundy for that. Now Lundy comes and sits down. Now at the table we still have Nonku. I think Nonku was kind of like far apart, but at the table we have Jojo and Lundy now. Slee has left. right? The caterer girl, who I will not even bother to learn her name, I'm sorry, is still seated there. So now Jojo asked Lundi, what's going on with you? Apparently, maybe one of the reasons that Lundi is no longer on season 3 is because she's no longer with her husband. So maybe that had played out in social media at a point. So Jojo is now kind of like asking how, okay, how was that? What happened? I didn't want to message you. I didn't want to bombard you when you were in the thick of it. So very innocently, Lundi says, there is a stranger at the table, being the caterer girl, who is someone she doesn't know. I don't want to get into it right now. From nowhere, this girl jumps down Lundi's throat. Why? If you want to talk to Lundi, Lundi wants to know what happened. You can tell her everything that happened. After all, everybody knows what happened. You left your husband. Everybody knows. It's all over social media. So what is it? What else do you have to say? And Lundi is just very taken aback and kind of like just looking at her. Okay, like what? The girl really was all from nowhere. Like from nowhere, she now started shouting, we knew you are very stiff. That's why your man left you. If you were not this, if you were not that, you would have been sitting right where you're sitting with your man. I'm like, did this girl plan Lundi before she left her catering job? Like, did you plan Lundi? What's all this aggression? I mean, Lundi just said there's a stranger at the table I do not want to talk, which is understandable for anybody. I mean, I do not know you. I'm not going to be saying my personal whatever in front of you. It's like, that's why you're no longer living in the house and driving the Range Rover. The Lamborghini is gone. I'm like, girl, what is going on? Why are you jumping down her throat like this? Like, it became a thing. What I loved about that particular scene was that Lundi wasn't really giving her the energy that she wanted Lundi to meet her with. I mean, this girl was going on about you. You said it at Kaya FM. I'm like, so you have been following Lundi's life. You've been following the matter. And now you saw an opportunity to jump down her throat and you are taking it. Girl, please bye. You want your 15 minutes of fame on the show and take it. Well done. You've done well. You're not going to be part of the cast, I hope. But obviously, when that girl heard that Shorisha was having an event and they're possibly going to mic some people, she decided, I'm going to come and I'm going to shine and I'm going to make them see me. That's just what she did. So that's what happened in episode 2 of Real Housewives of Durban. I'm actually looking forward to episode 3 because I still saw more clips of Lundi there. I missed my girl, so I love seeing that she's kind of coming back on the show in some capacity. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I hope to God we don't see the caterer again, but if we do, I mean, it's the drama, and sometimes the drama makes the show interesting. And that's it for me for today. Do remember to subscribe to this channel and share with your friends to subscribe as well. And check me out on Facebook at Rants of a Naija Chic. I'm on Instagram with the same name. And I'll see you next week with another review of Real Housewives of Durban, or I'll just see you next week with something else. But while you're here, do check out another video, okay? But that's it. Bye.